With the Highlands Fishing DLC, there is 2 new productions, and you're gonna need them. You're gonna need them if you want to build a castle on the hill anyway. Now, the first one is going to be the quarry. So if we go into the old construction menu, we've got it there, 235 grand. Right, we'll get that out. Man alive! I didn't think this through. There's not enough space here. Right, we're going to put it here like that. Let's hope it doesn't landscape its way to oblivion. Right, so there we are. So 236 with a bit of landscaping. So we'll place that down. Ah, not that bad, actually. Not that bad at all. Although we haven't got space for the second one. We'll give it a go anyway. Now, you could potentially put it on your start farm or wherever you're doing your shenanigans. But there is actually one on the map. And it is... Let's try and find it. Over here somewhere. There we are. Quarry. Right by the edge of the river. Sort of bottom right-hand side-ish. I mean, it is going to cost you the same to buy. 235 grand. But obviously, it's rather large. We'll say that anyway. This, though, could be, I reckon, the most OP production in the game. And I'll show you what I mean. If we come into the production chain menu just there, all you need to put in is water. That is it. And as we all know by now, that water is fairly cheap, if not free. Because obviously, yeah, I've got myself a little hydrant here. But you can get it from a river, that sort of thing. You know, it's not going to cost you a lot. We'll put it that way. So let's put some water in here like that. There we are. So dump it in. That's great. We can now turn it on. There we are. Go to the production chain menu. We're going to turn it on. We're going to get some big stones. One water is going to give you 25 big stones. Indeed. Right, so let's wait for some pallets then. Right, so we got our first pallet out. There's the big stones. That looks ace. 1,000 litres. It's saying 400 kilo. I mean, big stones like that, they are going to weigh more than 400 kilo. I'm just going to say. Now, obviously, we can't pick it up because it is 400 kilos, so you will need a forklift truck. But we've got the big stones. Now, potentially, you could take it onto our next production, or you could actually just sell them. So if we go into the shop, and we'll have a little look. So how much are we getting for big stones? So there we are, big stones. We could sell it off for, I don't know, 700, 800. We'll go with 800 per 1,000 litres. Now, bearing in mind, obviously, once you take out the cost of the whole facility itself, all you're putting in is water. And you're getting 800 odd per pallet. That is not bad. That is not bad at all. Now, obviously, if you didn't want to leave it just here, because you want to go and build the castle, for instance, you're going to need to take these pallets to the next level, which is going to be back into the production chain menu. And we're going to come down, we're going to go for the stonemason. And this is going to be interesting. Have I got enough space? Dear, oh dear. Right, so we're going to put this. Is it going to go here? Can we fit it in? Yeah, we're going to put it there. Right, so that's going to cost you 350 grand plus any landscaping that the game needs to do. So, we have got our stonemason. So obviously your pallets go in the front, pallet spawn point is going to be at the side, and you've got your production chain menu round here. There we are. So we're going to be making castle stones and roof shingles. So obviously your big stones go in, and then you make those two. Right. So let's get some big stones. You know what? I'm just gonna put that on distributing. That can then send it straight to the stonemason. We'll turn those two on, and we'll wait for some, what are they, castle stones and roof shingles to appear. So here we go. I've gone through to the next morning so we can just have a little better look at them. And we've got our pallets. So we've got our roof shingles just there. Again, like the big stones, 1,000 litres, 400 kilo weight. And then with the castle stone, same again, 400 kilo weight, 1,000 litre pallets. Now, obviously, you are going to need these to rebuild the castle if you want to go down that road. Or, potentially, like the big stones, you could sell them as well. So if we go into the shop menu, so we are looking for castle stone. Yeah, let's go through. There we are. So castle stone, 3.5, 3,400 per 1,000 litres. Not bad. Bearing in mind, right, if you take out, obviously, you've got the initial upfront cost of the quarry and then, obviously, of the stonemason. Once you got that down, all you're putting in is water. And you could be potentially making 3.5 grand for a pallet of castle stone. And what about the roof shingle? Now, but obviously you are going to have to take into account the cost of running the cycles. But all you're putting in, the actual ingredients, the original product, is going to be just water. So it's very cheap. We'll just say that anyway. The roof shingles themselves, 4,800, 5 grand if you're going for the logistics centre east. That's not bad. That is not bad. Just for putting some water from your tank into there, that is not bad at all. I mean, obviously, yeah, you are going to get paid. I assume you're going to get paid for taking him to the castle. Do you know what? We're going to have to build the castle, I reckon. Do you know what? We might do that in the next one. But definitely get rid of... I'm not going to say ignore the cost of putting a building down, because you have... Obviously, you have got this one that we put here, and this one that we put here as well. And you have got the quarry on the map that we've already seen, and the stonemason as well is also on the map, which is pretty close. Is it down here? I mean, you got the... What's that one? You got the spinnery. Where is the stonemason? There is one on the map. There you are, stonemason. Right down in the bottom right-hand corner. Is it going to cost you the same as placing it down on your own land? But once you get those costs out of the way, because obviously everything's got an initial startup cost, the actual running of it, indeed. We are definitely going to have to build the castle.